Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Full 90, and today we are back with week 4 of the Champions League. I just want to give a massive shout out to the new members of the TF90 Super Tipsters. We have Kem, TN, Project 101 back again, Seiki William Mamalia, or Mamela, Marius Stein, Janji, Jordan Kelly, Bilal Shizd, Adele Elabd, and Frank M. Baby, all new members since the last video. It was also a very successful weekend for the Super Tipsters. These were some of the tips given to members over the weekend. We had the winning accumulator, West Ham to win at 1.7, they won 3-1. Arsenal and Liverpool, both teams to score at 1.5. They actually both scored twice, Arsenal scoring 3. It all happened in the first half. Then Napoli to win at 1.4 as well. They ended up winning 4-1, and all of these tips were given either in the video or in the members only posts to members. All of these coming in over the weekend as well. As you can see, basically backing Chelsea to beat Wolves in every which way at a -1 handicap to 0, but also under 4 goals. It ended 3-0. Man City and Southampton have over 3.5 goals. Haaland to score. Of course, that happened. Newcastle to win. Palace and both teams to score. You remember in the video, I originally had 1-1 and I changed my prediction to 2-1, and that's exactly how it happened. West Ham to win. The Arsenal Liverpool won. Even in the Championship with Huddersfield, they won 2-0. Madrid, both of them to win. Both teams to score. Sassuolo into Milan. Napoli to win heavily. Udinese and Atalanta to have a goal fest. Roma to win and both teams to score. Goals, of course, in the Bundesliga was always going to happen. And then Rennes in the French League, Olympiacos in the Greek League. And we managed to find a tiny bit of value with Red Star Belgrade half-time, full-time. Like I said, all of these coming in. If you want to join, you can click the join button down below or the first link in the description. But enough about that. We travel back to Super Brew for the Champions League predictions. I actually, for the random league that I was placed in for the Champions League, received the gold cap for the round 3 fixtures for being the best person who predicted the games in round 3. We, of course, had Bayern Munich to beat Victoria Pilsen 5-0. Bang on. Porto to win at home. Liverpool to beat Rangers by 2 goals. Salzburg to win by a goal. We had Leipzig to beat Celtic 3-1, which I thought was a pretty good prediction. Juventus to put 3 past Maccabi and win. I said Man City to beat Copenhagen 6-0. They ended up winning 5-0. What can you do? We had Borussia Dortmund and both teams to score as well. So a lot of positive things to take into this week. And of course, this is the rerun of the week 3 fixtures. So if that's anything to go by, we should have a pretty good run. I also have a little 5-fold accumulator for not just the members, but for anyone watching this video that wants to take part in it from these fixtures. So I'll go through them right now. Copenhagen, Man City. I'm going to go for 4-0 to Manchester City. I think because Haaland's young and seems to be quite fit this season and hasn't really had many injury issues, I think he probably will play. But even if he doesn't play, I'm going 4-0 Man City. I think if I could guarantee Haaland would play, I'd probably go 5 or 6-0 again. But it wouldn't surprise me if Pep actually left him out. But at the same time, if Man City do win this game, that means that they're guaranteed to qualify top of the group. So they probably want to get through. Well, I suppose it depends on if Borussia Dortmund can beat Sevilla, because if not, then, or if they do, Borussia Dortmund is still 3 points behind. But it puts them in a good spot to win the group regardless. And they are obviously going to beat Copenhagen. I don't see Copenhagen scoring a goal, so I'm going to go 4-0. Maccabi, Juve, they need to win this game. They're going to win this game. It's not going to be massive, I don't think, but Juve just are a better team. Even though they've struggled away from home recently, I still think Juventus, they're good enough to beat Maccabi, but I think it's going to be a close game. I think both teams definitely will score in that fixture. AC Milan and Chelsea, I'm just going to go for Chelsea on this one. Only just. I was very, very tempted to put a draw. I'm going to go for 2-1 there. Again, very tempted to go for a draw. I think both teams to score is where you'd look to this one. AC Milan beating Juventus in Serie A at home. It is a tough place to go, the San Siro, and just because Chelsea have been looking good lately, I mean, Graham Potter massively rotated Chelsea's squad for that game against Wolves, and they still came away unscathed with a 3-0 victory, and they'll be full strength for this one. So I'm going to just shade them the win. They were much the better team at Stamford Bridge, and whilst I think it's going to be closer this time round, I'm going to give Chelsea the win 2-1 in that fixture. Borussia Dortmund, Sevilla. Fairly straightforward again. Borussia Dortmund coming back. Last-minute equaliser against Bayern Munich to finish 2-2. I think they're going to beat Sevilla again. I think they're going to concede again, but end up winning. So Borussia Dortmund and both teams score. I'm going to go for a 3-1. Good enough win for Borussia Dortmund. Sevilla really struggling here in the Champions League. After that, we go to Celtic Park for Celtic up against RB Leipzig. Obviously, we correctly predicted Leipzig to beat Celtic 3-1 in the previous fixture. I'm giving Celtic a goal again. I think Leipzig are just a little bit too good, and this is where they need to be getting their points, Leipzig, and I think they can do it, even though the atmosphere is going to be absolutely rocking. Now, after this one, it is Dinamo Zagreb up against Salzburg, and I did predict, yes, I correctly predicted Salzburg would win by a goal, but Dinamo Zagreb, like a lot of these teams, are definitely a home team, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw here between these two teams. I think it's going to be close. I think both teams will score, but I'm going to go for that draw. And as you can see, the bookies are struggling to separate them, giving Salzburg slight favourites here, which I can see why, but I'm going to go for that 1-1 draw. Now, PSG Benfica. PSG drawing with Benfica 1-1 last time out due to an own goal that they scored. And I do think PSG are going to bounce back and win this one. Benfica, no mugs, playing really well this season, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to PSG. Hard to look past them when you've got the front line that PSG have, arguably the best in the world. Perhaps, I mean, if you look at Man City with Grealish, Foden and Haaland, that looks pretty scary, but the maturity of Messi, Neymar and Mbappe, just absolutely phenomenal. And again, full credit to Benfica. They're probably going to make it to the knockout stage. I think PSG are going to be a step too far for this time round. Shakhtar Donetsk up against Real Madrid. I'm going for a 1-0 win to Real Madrid. Nothing too high scoring. I think this game's a little bit of a trap in terms of value, because I wouldn't necessarily back tons and tons of goals. It could, don't get me wrong, it could end like 4-1. But at the same time, Real Madrid have been doing the job in recent fixtures, and it doesn't have to be high scoring. If they win, and that's all that matters. So it wouldn't surprise me if this was low scoring. So I'm just going to go for a 1-0 win to Real Madrid there. After that, it's Atletico Madrid against the rampant Club Brugge. And maybe I'll get proved wrong again, but Atletico Madrid at the Wanda Metropolitano should have enough to beat Club Brugge. And I don't think my last prediction was a terrible prediction, even though Club Brugge beat Atletico Madrid. I don't think it was crazy to think that Atletico Madrid could take, points from Club Brugge. So I'm going for a 2-1 win. Very close game. And as you can see here, Atletico Madrid are the heavy favourites, and they should definitely get this win. Now, after that, Napoli up against Ajax. Napoli, possibly one of the form teams in the entire world, along with the likes of Man City and I guess Real Madrid and Arsenal. Napoli are right up there with them, and how can you not give them a win after absolutely destroying Ajax last time out? You've got to go for a Napoli win. I'm going to go for 3-2, even though it's kind of crazy to think that the home game would be closer than the away game, but it doesn't get much further apart than 6-1 away from home. That's an absolutely phenomenal result for Napoli, and whilst it was, it's a deserved result, it is also a little bit of a freak result. So I'm going to go both teams to score. I think that's really where it's going to go. Both teams are going to score. There's going to be lots of goals, but Napoli, you've got to give them the win. After that, Barcelona, Inter Milan. Barcelona have been getting a lot of 1-0 victories lately. It's hard to bet on Barcelona because even teams do you think they should beat, like at the weekend, you'd maybe back a -1 handicap. They're just winning 1-0. And I could see the same thing happening here. They'll keep it tight. Inter beat them 1-0. I think Barcelona are going to get the exact same revenge this time round at the new camp, 1-0 against Inter Milan. That's how I see it going anyway. Bayer Leverkusen up against FC Porto. I predicted an FC Porto win against Leverkusen last time at home. I'm going with home form again because, as I said in the last video, these are two very much home dominant teams, and I'm going for a 2-1 win. Bayer Leverkusen bouncing back a little bit at the weekend as well with a 4-0 victory over Schalke, and Schalke very hit and miss, but not a terrible side. So I think Bayer Leverkusen, give them their credit. I'm going to give them just shade the victory against Porto. Liverpool Rangers. Liverpool getting beaten by Arsenal. Rangers not good enough for the Champions League. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Liverpool. I think even if you're a Rangers fan, you sort of understand that the Champions League just is a step too far at the moment anyway for Rangers. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Liverpool. The odds reflect how likely it is here. After that, we have Sporting up against Marseille. Red card kind of ruined the tie between the two teams. Last time round, it was, I think, 1-1, maybe 2-1 to Marseille, and then there was a red card, and it just completely killed the game. Sporting, another home team. Marseille, another home team. I wanted to go for a Sporting win, but I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Marseille are a tricky customer. I think if I had to pick a winner, I'd go Sporting 2-1, but I'll go 1-1 just because I haven't predicted many draws. Tottenham Frankfurt, I think it's going to be low scoring and boring. 1-0 Tottenham, just like they did to Brighton. Arguably quite fortunate to walk away with the 3 points against Brighton, but they did what was necessary. And at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I could see them getting a win here, maybe a 2-1 or something like that, but I think Tottenham should be able to get the win. And after that, Victoria Pilsen against Bayern Munich. Let's give them a goal for the home crowd and 4 goals to Bayern Munich. It's going to be an absolute goal fest. It's going to be crazy. So these are a little refresher of my picks for the Champions League. And as I said at the beginning, I have a 5-fold accumulator with odds of 16.37 should you so desire. So we're going to first of all go to Copenhagen, the early kickoff. Man City -2 handicap. That means they only have to win 3-0. And the crazy thing is I say only. I think Man City's B team could beat Copenhagen 3-0. Obviously, the A team, let's say if they had to score 10 goals to win the Champions League for something, something like that, they could easily score 8, 9, 10 goals. But it's not as do or die once they get the first couple of goals. But even still, a team of their quality should run out easy winners. So I'm going for a Man City -2 handicap. After that, I've actually gone to AC Milan Chelsea, both teams to score. I think Chelsea are going to score. They're in form. AC Milan have to score. What does that mean? It means both teams score. So whatever the result, I think both teams score. I'm then going all the way down to Napoli Ajax, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. We've just seen a 6-1. Napoli just won 4-1 at the weekend as well. Ajax score goals. It's going to be crazy. Doesn't matter the result. Both teams scored over 2.5 goals. Liverpool to beat Rangers, and then Bayern Munich to win and over 3.5 goals. Could be 4-0, could be 5-0, could be 4-1. So once again, that's Man City -2. Both teams to score at the San Siro. Both teams to score and over 2.5 goals over in Naples. Liverpool to win in Scotland, and Bayern Munich to win with a bunch of goals at Victoria Pilsen. So I believe that is just about going to do it for the Champions League predictions. Again, massive shout out to all the members that have joined, got in on the tips. As you saw, there were tons of tips that we gave. And whilst I did give out some accumulators myself, we had the winning one, the safer one, where you put a bit of a higher stake on. I hope some of you took some of the tips from the list and made accumulators of your own, because I'm sure you could have come up with some good stuff there with the value that we provided. But nevertheless, that is going to do it for this video. I also, if you've watched this video within the first hour and a half of it going out, there is another double that I've posted for the members today from the Serie A and the Premier League, if you want to get involved with that. If not, that's fine. If you do, I appreciate the support on the channel. And that is going to do it from me, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.